There we go, friends. You should be able to hear us now. Do me a favor, chat, and let me know if you can hear my voice. Little known fact, that horn section is Duke and Reyn. They're playing the horns and the saxophone and all that.
That's
good
me.
stuff. Yeah,
That's definitely us. We are so proficient in horn music.
in horn music they call it. That's the official genre. Hello, friends. It's Thursday Age. Thank you, Jeremiah. Good to see you, friend. Listen, today we're getting a little meta. Here's the deal. You know, and if you don't know, you will soon know that we are been kind of working on this project called the Slumber's Burden. And it is all about creative collaboration. And we've got lots of really interesting development around that idea, including 2 major cities, some plot twists, and some mechanisms within to help the GM decide the nature of the dragon, whether, alive or dead or sleeping or otherwise. And a whole, developing culture with, warring factions and all of this stuff. But I wanted to step back a little bit because I think, in my mind, and I could be absolutely wrong about this, but my gut tells me I'm right. It's when we are developing together based on the story that sometimes it's the tail wagging the dog, like that potentially, and maybe not, but maybe because we are so brilliant, and we both are, all 3 of us are rather. And by the way, Reyn and Duke are here. We are all disembodied today because we just
Nobody's.
We've all ascended just for today.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, we're all mist, various clouds of mist up in the stratosphere. But when developing, but from the context of the story, I worry that we're missing some key elements, that fundamentals that make for a good TTRPG fantasy city. Are there things that or maybe we've hit the mark, but what for my edification and just and also I want to get feedback from chat, because I think that crowdsourcing brilliance is wonderful and we still get to take credit for it. Are you there?
Yep, we do.
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah. And we will.
We take all the credits. Like
yeah, we do.
Wherever we can find them, we will grab them and press them to our hearts.
That's right. And eat them.
We'd like to thank all the little people.
Aww.
There's no little people, just little ideas. Okay, no, just joking. But so today we're talking about building the perfect fantasy TTRPG city in the context, I might add, of the adventure game engine.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Tempo. I appreciate your compliment on the music. I like it too. So, friends, let's get into it. A question that I have for the chat. When you are playing a TTRPG, when fundamentals are missing, or when there are elements of the experience that are maybe not as well baked as other elements. I mean, have you had that experience? I don't necessarily need the names, and we don't need as players and as GMs. What are you thinking when you run up against that? And what are missing elements, and also specifically to city design? What are the key elements you think that need to be a part of a city for the purpose of TTRPG exploration? And also maybe you've got a gripe about, hey, they develop cities and they always forget this, or why don't they do a city like that? And let her rip, and we will pick and and choose sort of reaction stuff. But gentlemen, when I mentioned this topic to you, talk to me about sort of what went through your mind, even if it was, what the hell are we talking about?
You know, I've been running on my professional games. I've been reading a lot of articles about specific like settlements that the heroes are going into. So I have inadvertently done a bit of studying on this one, but you know, I've got a couple of thoughts.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and so chat's already digging into it. Like, you know, Jeremiah mentions that cities form for a reason. So that's interesting notion. Like, is it a port city for shipping? Is it a foundational city for protection in their walls to keep the monsters out or in? Depending on which M. Night Shyamalan movie you watched. But so we've got geography and layout and factions and that kind of stuff. What's the most important thing for you when you're playing in a TTRPG? Do you want a fully fleshed out city, or do you even think about it? Are you just kind of moving through the space and as it develops, you enjoy it kind of ad hoc, or how do you evaluate that experience from a player perspective?
Duke, you want to go first?
Sure. From a player perspective, different kind of piece of tea. The piece of tea cup, a different cup.
It's late for you.
Yum.
It is late, and my day has been horrid, and my brain is not working. So please excuse me being weird. But yeah, when I am a player and I come into a city, usually because I don't have, like, as a player, the information that the game master would have, I have to rely on whatever the game master is throwing at me. And what I would like to have is at least a vibe, like a feeling.
Sure, okay.
how this city feels to this character. How does it smell? What kind of initial feeling do you get when being in this city? Is it melancholy? Is it bustling and lively? Is it dead? Is you know, or so that I have like an initial mood for this place, and then I start like exploring. But usually, other than like the peak or like the most interesting things that you would immediately notice about this place, like a very high building, or like, I don't know, purple clad monks that are roaming the streets everywhere, like things that would immediately stick out of you. Other than that, I would only want what I immediately need in the situation I'm in. Like, when if we're just entering the city, we only need information about like this entrance part of the city and the people there. Maybe and if there is no further information given to the game master in whatever they're doing, they'll come up with something. Usually, you know,
Right.
Like,
Okay, let me break it down real quick. So with Jeremiah in chat had mentioned the purpose or the reason for the city. Like, how did it become a city? Like, what was the more practical reason people started to kind of, you know, congeal around this particular space? And then you said a couple things that I thought were really important. One is, what is the city vibe? What does it feel like? What is it? Is it big and urban and sort of interesting with lots of different people? Is it small and cozy and quaint? Is it ruins? You know, like, what's the vibe? Mm-hmm. And then you said the other thing too, which is you're not really, as a player, expecting or looking for all the exposition.
Yeah. Unless you were like briefed on the city, like you're doing a heist in this city, then probably you know more about it beforehand. But other than that, you just walk into a city you've probably never been to. You have no idea what there is, other than like 3 landmarks and that the king is a dick. That's probably it.
Right. Gotcha. Friends, I'm going to put up a little document that we'll be typing into here in just
King
a moment.
Dick.
Okay, I like that. Ren, from your perspective,
Mhm.
what are you looking for? Like, let's say you're the player, you step into a city. What are you? Is it the bare minimum? Is it, what are you hoping to get?
From a player perspective, I'm actually gonna pretty much echo what Duke said.
Yeah, it feels right.
We're in a new place. What's it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it look like? What are the people doing?
Yeah.
What kinds of trouble are we expecting any trouble to get into here? And what kinds of trouble are we expecting to get into? Um, I've got a couple of I'm doing a lot of Pathfinder these days, so the Galarian setting's got a lot of excellent cities built, and a couple of which I've been running lately. Um, so I've got examples in my head, and let's see. I think the starting settlement in the Iron Gods adventure path, my favorite adventure path, incidentally, from Pathfinder, from first edition. It's called Torch, and it's called Torch because there is this hill in the middle of town that has this little purple flame that comes out of it, and it just kind of burns for all the time. And
Okay.
very occasionally, this flame just lances into the sky with incredible power, parting the clouds and painting the sky purple for maybe just like a few hours, and then it goes back down into a smaller flame. Um, and the people who found it have discovered that the flame is very directional, which means that if you like throw some kindling right next to it, it doesn't even smolder. But if you throw the kindling over the fire, it's incinerated, and it burns really hot, which means that and some enterprising folks have found out that you can use it to smelt sky metals because it has a very high temperature, which means that you can use it to smelt something like adamantine, which is a very high melting point. So it's primarily that is its claim to fame, is that people come from around the country and from out of the country to work sky metals here because there is a readily accessible resource that lets you do that. And the local church of Bry is venerates the goddess of crafting and invention and constructs in time. Um, so that initial like, why is this here, can inform a lot of that vibe. Um, some in some of the cities I've read, perhaps a bit more so than others. Um, that one is extremely apparent why this city exists here, and it informs everything about this town because it's
Yeah.
primarily built around welcoming folks in who are coming from abroad to use the torch to smelt sky metal, and the people who already live here who work sky metal for a living. So when you come here, you see a lot of crafters. There's a lot of people who work with steel and other metals. Um, and the town makes a lot of money from visitors who bring their own sky metals to work, and rents out the time. And then that makes an excellent plot hook at the beginning of the adventure when the torch goes out and no one
Oh
knows why.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah,
Right.
the
Right. I
torch
mean,
goes
it's
out, and the adventure begins with one of the town council folks getting the PCs together and being like, "Hey, so this is pretty much the whole reason we're here. We need somebody to figure out why it's gone. Why it's gone. You folks are expedition number 5, um, and we need you to go find expedition number 4 because it had one of our council
I
members in it."
love it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now we're getting
Yeah,
into what I see
yeah,
as
yeah.
some of the, well, as good stuff. I mean, as some of the elements that I am
Yeah.
only learning, or well, I think that I know to some extent, but am kind of now just sort of putting language to, and
Hmm.
that's that you've got the vibe and the setting and the purpose, and you as the GM, or however you come to this as a player, or whatnot, because we're kind of talking about the needs of the player as provided by the GM, who's done a little work behind the scenes, of course, a lot of work I'm
Hmm.
mentioning. um, and then there are these, there's got to be a thing now, the purpose, you talked about this torch
Hmm.
and its importance to, and its necessity and how it has drawn so many people to it and the space, and that's kind of what's built up around the very important, element to adamantium research or whatever. What do you call that? I mean, is it just an adventure hook, or is it a theme? Is it a
when the torch goes out, that's very much a hook.
Yeah.
The torch itself, this in this particular example at least, the torch lends the town a lot of its identity and a lot of its vibe.
Yeah.
And I think that can also be one of the things that perhaps fantasy writing, maybe in a fantasy age game, you can focus on a bit more, because a lot of towns will build up for economic reasons. Like, this is a really good spot for trade, and we set it up on a river so that there's good river travel, or maybe we set
Yeah.
it along, maybe in a world where we got a lot of airships, we set it along a cliffside so that it's really easy for folks to take off and move around. Um, you can absolutely do that. I do think that players are going to forget the town that rose up because, it's on the lake, and that's where people bring money from the lake. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, but if you've got a fantasy age game, perhaps you could maybe still have it be economic. Like, the torch is still economic, but it's fantastical. It's got that
Right.
fantasy age vibe, as opposed to, um, we get a lot of iron ore around here, and that's our primary thing. And granted, even if you've got a little bit of that, I definitely think that it's worth throwing a little bit more spice in, like, in that we've also got ore louses to worry about, creatures that eat the iron. So we also need to hire people to protect the miners from these giant bugs that come out of the earth that try to eat our town's economy.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
so, we've got one of the things I think that actually something I like to say quite a bit, and I wasn't planning to say it today, but I will, because I really do like it. That I think, especially in fantasy adventures, when we've got magic, I think a lot of folks will say that magic just kind of like just sort of like, what's the word? That it's frivolous or something, or maybe I'm not really the right words for it, but I usually like to say that magic magnifies who we are. In a
Mhm.
fantasy world, because we have magic, um, people are more capable of doing the things that they wanted to do, because, like, a person who wanted to cause violence can also shoot fire out of their hands. So it
Right.
didn't change who they were, it just made them more. You know what I
Okay. I
mean?
like.
Magic is like money.
A
If you
little
have
bit, yes.
in that regard,
Oh yeah.
money doesn't really corrupt you. It only brings out who you were in the inside all along,
Mhm.
because you have the means to do it. Magic does the same, but
Yeah.
magic gives a more like fantastical like flair to it, which lends itself more to a fantasy game
Mhm.
than being all like, capitalism bad. It can
Yeah.
still be
We can
capitalism bad, but
we can
with magic.
absolutely still do that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
honestly, and then you can get into the crazy super capitalism when you've got people who can do magic. Maybe someone's figured out how to transmute like lead into gold, but they don't share
Oh,
with anybody, because then they
I
get to have
will.
all of the money,
Awesome. I will just say
etc.
I'm just right now running a campaign
Oh.
uh in which the country that has not been named yet um has been there is a golden road that has been built through the country by a rich entity that is not really clear who they are, but
Mhm.
whoever travels on that road is super protected. No bandits will come, no monsters will come, and if they come, they will have a bad time. So you can just travel the road from city to city. It's all amazing, but traveling on that road is fucking expensive.
Mhm.
And so only the super rich like traders and merchants are able to even use that road. Everyone else has to see how they get by. And ever since that road appeared, everything beside that road turned more dangerous for some reason, and more perilous, and more
Okay.
awful for everyone. And also, whoever is designing this road is kind of coercing like communities to be connected to it
Mm.
because
Of course.
got a nice city there. Would be a shame if anything happened to it, right? Or the people who need to go and fro from that city would be horrible, right? You better be connected, and obviously, getting connected to the road super expensive. So it's like a thinly veiled capitalism critique.
Right.
It has this fantasy flair to it of having like some magical thing that this road obviously represents, so something is happening there. But you can still like go into real world issues with this, and I love this.
Oh,
People like everybody hates the Gold Road in my campaign. No, it's fantastic.
Good. Fantastic.
Nobody's
Well
using
done.
it. Everyone's like, nah, we need to kill them.
I love that. Okay, so I'm looking in chat. I just want to make sure I'm capturing some of this because it's really, really great stuff. And one of the interesting
Good
things
stuff.
was, is this place planned or did it just happen? And I think that that's a really good. I think if we look at historical sort of reference, there are some cities that were created because out of necessity. There were some, I guess you can call them cities, but some, sort of collections of humans that out of necessity or out of struggle or strife, I'm thinking of, encampments and displaced people. What are some other motivations you can think of for a city to pop up in a space?
Let's say important resources is definitely
Yeah.
a big one.
Agreed.
Let's say
Positioning in the country, like if it's like at a crossroads of a river that is
Yep.
always being like used to get around, then obviously that's a place where you would put a city.
Strategic geographical location.
Mhm.
yeah. Potential fun one, tourism.
Tourism? Did you say tourism?
I didn't say tourism, but did you? I mean, yes.
I think it's.
Tourism,
I
always
see.
good.
We lost friend. So let me pop them back in. Hello, friend.
Tourism, you got it. Okay, cool.
Okay, good. Yeah, tourism. And so I love that idea. That's great. I mean, and that tourism could also mean, it's a beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
It is a dangerous
holy
place. Oops, I digress.
Shadowcat is saying like a holy ground and a federal place. Like it has some cultural significance.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the
Cultural
chat here.
significance would be a good one too. Yeah.
And interesting. This is fun too. Just as I'm going to mention it as a. Well, first I want to do this. I want to make sure. Okay, good. I've got GM squared. Paul mentioned, and we'll bounce around a little bit, but when it comes to Iron Wrench environments or whatever the reason why you're there can be a source for tribulation, for strife or struggle. If it is a holy place, there could be something, sacrilegious happening or something very magical kind of tearing apart at reality. Or it could be, if it's Iron Rich, it can be causing some problems, with specific races within that space. Or if it's a place that you've created, like the torch, I'm not sure how it came to be, and I'm certain there's probably lore or ways to find that out, but does its placement in that space displace or create its own problem with its existence, not to mention when it vanishes, right? It's a whole storyline in itself. Other thoughts that as to how a city, like some questions you want to ask yourself, like is it important to we talk about vibe and what makes it real to the players. What are some of the themes that, like, is it a criminal enterprise? Is it a real dangerous city? What are some other elements that we might consider sprinkling in to kind of give things texture?
Probably architecture.
Okay.
Because if you go for a very like gothic style of buildings, like in Dark Souls or something, that obviously lends itself to being more ominous and oppressive and maybe even scary to a degree, through the buildings and the arrangement of buildings alone. Whereas like a cute little town with like wooden cottages or whatever probably has a very different appeal to it. And
Yeah, rolling fields and little thatched roofs versus big stone, sort of edifices and parapets and things, and militaristic vibe or gothic feeling, some kind of haunted castle kind of thing, or
aesthetic.
This is an important one too. I think that we really do need to think about velociraptor
We don't
attacks.
build a city because there are velociraptor attacks, do we?
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe
See?
maybe we're into it. Maybe it's maybe velociraptor attacks determine elements of our religious
You
beliefs, or
maybe
maybe we just
maybe they make good leather.
Velociraptors make good leather. Also, velociraptor attacks kind of determine which children were worth it and
Right.
which weren't.
That's right.
Ooh.
Well,
Ooh,
they
man.
mated I have 12 children at the beginning of the season, and oh look, I have 2 left. Good job, kids.
Exactly. Those are the good ones,
This
Those
is
are
great.
we
Michael,
keep.
those are the good ones. This is a horrible conversation.
I know.
This is great too. I like this MERPs, which we've got
I like it.
mothers. What's good? What's a good E word?
Eels.
Eczema? Eels. Okay.
Roller coasters.
Roller coasters. Yeah, I like that.
Roller coasters.
And
Pants.
And
and shoes, of course.
sauce.
We're not going to go
shoes.
crazy. Can't go crazy around here.
No. Get your shoes on. Keep your pants off and your shoes on.
We're not barbarians.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, this is really great. Military,
We're
economic,
Roman.
Religious, pants and shoes. I did put in there what I actually did.
You wrote it down.
I gotcha.
It's horrible. It's but it would happen to me as well if I say a word and try to type another word that's not happening.
Especially if I'm feeling particularly clever about it, then I'll
That's good. That's good.
That's really, really good stuff. Thank you, Michael, in chat. Jeremiah said, okay, this is really interesting. And I think too, because we've got such a great resource in history as to the rise and the fall. I mean, I think that that's another very interesting axis, is the time when you as the player have entered into the city, where in the arc of growth and expansion and contraction and struggle and boom times and bullish markets, and what's the other? It's not bullish, it's I don't know, sheepish. But the idea that there is an axis of time where people, that also could impact the mood of the city. For instance, if it's a city at its height, it is everybody's rich and they're it is all the dreams are coming true and whatever resources are rich. Or have they come to sort of the arc where things are starting to come unraveled a little?
Yeah, the post-flame era of the city will probably be quite interesting.
Yeah. I'm going to put this down here real quick. Go ahead, sorry.
Which of the 5 paintings from the course of empire are we at right now?
Right, yes, yeah, that's exactly right. So we'll say time as a
Civilization?
I'm going to say on the axes of time.
Okay.
Where in a city's development over time do we find the players entering the story? That feels right. And probably not necessarily related to exactly to what Jeremiah said, but the whether it's planned or it's grown, does say something about the culture. It's mindfulness versus, we're just patchworking this together. We're kind of flying the plane and building it at the same time.
Yeah, it's like a frontier city where you like where the colonization of the western areas of America, where you had like these cities that were like just built there from nothing just to be there, and so you had like a point and a place where you could go from, and those obviously are differently planned because they are more like outposts and then become cities eventually.
Right. And that maps to what Jeremiah is talking about. Are we looking at an empire that has grown on top of an existing population or culture? And, I would imagine that the more nomadic cultures would have maybe had a little bit more of a patchwork kind of approach, or organic, I'll say, an organic approach. And then you've got sort of, Rome, who's like, all roads lead to Rome, and we're going to structure this stuff. And, here are the roads that you get and all the other things, so that we can boss you around more effectively.
Maybe our emperor won't be murdered this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
also like in the course of building an empire is like particularly with the Roman Empire, was bringing your own culture to a place that culture is not from, and trying to impose your cultural norms onto that place as a means, like marketing it obviously as an advancement, but using it as a means of control, which also would inform a city in a place. Like, is this city imposing some kind of culture that is not local to the place where the city is in?
Yeah. Oh, very interesting, because that could also suggest a layered cultural reaction where there's a surface level, look at me, I'm moving in the way that I'm expected to move because of the empire. And then underneath is this sort of subversive, like,
Exactly.
when we look on the surface, like we are doing all of the right dances and all the right, secret handshakes, but underneath we're really holding a dagger and waiting for Caesar to visit,
Exactly. I mean, at some point, like even these empiric enterprises realized, okay, we can only go so far with our imposition of our culture. We have to kind of incorporate some of the local stuff so the people won't riot. So let's kind of mix it and try to like ease our stuff in over time, which they kind of realized they had to do, and in some more remote areas, because their approach wasn't working anymore. and so you have this weird mix sometimes of two different cultures that start to like mix and mesh and try to figure out how to fit together.
Agreed. And
obviously, always like is not to be condoned. It's not like a natural thing that happens. It's like someone forcing their thing onto another culture, which, just to be clear, is a bad thing. We don't do this, but it's still as a cultural.
Why we know it's so bad. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we did do it, and we are still doing it, but we shouldn't be doing it. But in terms of cultural flavor, obviously, this is a thing that makes a place interesting, and particularly in a fantasy world where you can't hurt real people. So it's you can play with that a bit more and make it interesting.
While double checking, of course, with your players that everyone
Obviously
that's not crossing any lines and veils. But
you really, you're not hurting anybody. Yeah. Absolutely, and well said. And I'm glad we mentioned that, because that is important, a really important piece of this, especially if you're hoping to, offer an experience to humans that aren't you, to take some time. Check in. But so I'm going to put this under the category of sort of elements giving texture to the civilization. civilization, and that's trade, commercialism, intersection of cultures. So that's and I kind of want to encourage us to sort of keep that. Let's talk about. Oh, let's of course share specific notions or ideas, because I think that informs the greater structure. But let's also make sure that we're taking that bird's eye view.
Mhm.
Um,
And actually, to that, I did want to also throw in that something that I think something that I was coming back to a couple of times while we were talking was that all of this stuff is really cool and nice to have for the GM,
yeah.
but it does all need to serve the purpose of giving adventure.
Awesome.
Yes.
So this reminds
It
me that
all,
I think we've got a different. Can I think I can do tabs here. Get rid of that.
I think
What
so.
I want to make sure we acknowledge that, because it sounds to me like a cardinal rule. Like,
Mhm.
let's reframe it in a way that even simpletons like me can retype it. So as an edict, you say,
Let's see how good put this.
Concentrate on what's important to the story.
But what do we do in this city? I guess.
so here's what I'm
Or
thinking.
um,
When designing, oops. When designing a TTRPG, oh, gee, cricket, TTRPG experience set in a city, the texture, all of these bits and pieces are great, but it
all
has
of
to
it should
serve.
come back to making an adventure.
Yes, okay, got you. Right, exactly. Because we can spin out and really get granular on this stuff. Does it actually give the players something to do?
Yeah, exactly.
So then
Always with the
yeah, go for it.
yeah, you go. No, yeah, always with the thought in the back of your head. You're designing an adventure. You're not writing a novel. Those are two different things, and they work
Yes,
very
yeah, yeah.
different.
And also just to make sure that we're reminded that it serves the purpose that we are serving is a TTRPG experience that other people can engage with. And does it allow for players to advance the plot? Does it allow for, like, so yeah, does it create just enough obstacle so that, there's interest, and is it serving the players' needs around the table?
Mm. Yeah. Also, I think an important thing one has to kind of like at least think about is from a perspective of someone who designs a product to be used,
Yeah.
like an adventure or a setting.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
For
Yes.
sure.
There is there's an important distinction to be made of how much information might be too much information, because you would always have to think like all that I'm putting down here, I am probably expecting someone to read, and as GMs and players are all time constrained, there might be too much information being delved out, and too much too much of a time sink you are throwing at a GM that they probably will have to work through to sift out what is important to them. So while designing, I think it's important to pick out the parts that are really important for the story and really important for the mood, and kind of make a note of those a little bit separate from the rest of the fluff that is still great to have.
Yeah.
But just to make sure, hey, these are the important parts, and here's all the fluff that we also made that you can go through at your own time. We love you if you do it, and we're so happy if you do. But these parts are the important parts. So because I know that I read a bunch of books where I was just overwhelmed with the plethora of information that was given to me, and me being unable to discern what of that information is important to me right now and what isn't. And then it became too much. And then I had to improvise or stop because it just
So let's do
costing
this
too much
real quick
brain power.
before we go down a rabbit hole. What is that edict? So it's a universal truth is that you are building you're building systematically. That you are building a product, and it needs to have these important elements. What would you call that? Like, is it assure that you are build or have a framework, or because there's sort of the mechanisms that you can sort of drape fantasy over, or science fiction, like the adventure game engine, right? It has elements that it functions. You play the Expanse, you're going to understand how to, when you are playing Blue Rose, how the adventure game engine works. It's going to introduce itself, and you won't be lost if you're playing Fantasy Age one day after having played the Expanse. And so is that kind of what you're talking about, Duke? The notion that there needs to be this scaffolding, or this sort of the product part of all of this, a playable experience.
Yes. I meant it less in the terms of mechanics, but more in terms of like locational lore, so to say. But sure, I would call it like priorities. Like, get your priorities straight of what you're doing, information in a way that is easily accessible, I think would be that phrase.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay, I think we're getting there, and I don't know that we need to have that fully fleshed out quite yet. But I do think that there is. I want to at least make a note of, take note of the fundamental structure of the game, or like it's the gamified, right? It's the measures and weights that is the game, the dice, that piece of the puzzle needs to be really clear, so that you're not throwing in something or some kind of the magic does this when the magic can't do that, because you've got D6s and you can't have 20 options of things, or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of throwing that out
They
there.
can't cast Wish in Fantasy Age.
Well, there you go.
At least not yet.
You can if the game master wants it to happen.
Yeah. Here's some great other elements here for the perfect city. Okay, let's kind of pull back to the city, and that is who runs the city, which is let me see here. Who run? And so we've got, we touch on it in various elements of this, and we'll tighten it up. But this will be a document that we'll share with everybody, and then we can it'll be a living guide on developing a city for the adventure game engine. But who runs the joint? And then, is it, and so we're talking, when we talk about who runs the joint, we are talking about is it a patriarchal situation? Is it oligarchs? Is it
what kind of political system is employed?
Yeah.
Plus, what are the troubles this system has right now?
A Dragonopolis. What do you when you're run by the church? What are you called?
Sure, one dragon rules them all.
A theocracy.
Theocracy.
Yeah, that's a theocracy.
I just said
theocracy. That's a lot of spittle coming up.
Theocracy. Oh no, theocracy, right? Is that
theocracy?
I mean,
let's not go there. But theocracy, democracy. I mean, nobody should be surprised.
The theocracy, I'm serious.
You've got theocracy and democracy. Let's see. Good settings describe things that are present and on the verge, the players advance the verge. Okay, interest. Let's unpack this for a minute. Good settings describe, this is Michael in chat, good settings describe things that are present and on the verge, or they're happening. The players advance the verge. Okay, so I get what you're saying. You're saying, what does the player's impact, like, it's like kind of throwing a stone into a lake. There's a lot of stuff going on in that lake right now, but you throw the rock in, and then there are these ripples that happen, and those ripples, as a sort of allegory to, or as a sort of an exercise in what happens when you throw the players into the space. Do they advance the negative part, or I won't say negative. Do they advance an element that creates the story or helps grow the story, or does it sort of prevent something good or bad or positive or negative, or just ebb and flow?
I mean, I think what Michael is mostly getting to is like the city already has like a thing that is about to maybe happen, like there's something brewing, and the actions of the players decide, is this brewing out of control, or is this simmering down again?
I really like the phrase, the players. Yeah, I like the term, the players advance the verge. Like, do they amplify that thing? Yeah, very, very interesting, which is either by choice or inadvertent sort of something else. You know what I mean? Just by looking upon it.
Just by being there. Exactly. Just by being there and being Chucklefox is the technical term for players.
Yeah, I really like that. I'm going to actually type it here, because I feel like there's a city vibe, there's all of that. Then there is, how do the players impact or change the city? The coity? The city.
The coity?
The coity. And that is, I'm going to say this. How do do they advance? Oops. Jeez. Do they advance a particular situation? Oops. Nope. That's not how you spell that. Situation, or what's a good or trigger a
rapid change
situation?
Yeah,
just by being there. Okay, so this will be I think we could probably broaden this and say there are elements that we need to consider that are driven by players being in the room. They're there and they've done the thing. Like, for instance, when you've gone and planned the entire thing, that you've planned everything from the city, legal maneuvering to the what it smells like and what it looks like on an October morning before the sun rises. But they want to get to know the NPC that you have not planned in the bar that is closing, and then want to, become best friends and then build a tavern with them in another city that you haven't planned. And, so there's an element of the players that needs to be kind of included in all this, the chaos. We've got, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that is political. And, and I think too, the political stuff probably should be kind of moved. Sometimes I'll ask you too. Do you think that politics drives the city, or does the city drive the politics? Is it a little push and pull?
It's probably both.
Yeah,
I think it's both.
I mean, depending on what you want. Like, if your idea for whatever is happening in the city is coming from a transgressive government that is overarching and overreaching, then it defines the city right now.
Yeah.
But if you but sometimes you want a little bit more nuance in these things. Like, okay, the king is doing something and the people are doing another thing, but both have good reasons, and so you're more in a gray area. I think it really depends on how you want to dial in the conflict that this city is bringing onto the table that the players have to deal with. Because if it's a city that's just everything is hunky-dory, everything is great. The king is a cool guy, and he's kind to the people, and everybody's happy. It's hard to do something with that. If everything's hunky-dory, you need some sort of conflict there, and probably
Right.
the politics of that place inform the conflict in some way.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. And I'm thinking first, immediately I thought of, if it all looks great, it's
It
something is
probably isn't.
desperately wrong. Something is
Yes.
horribly wrong, and you'll find out soon enough when I don't know what.
Dang, this Omalas place rules. Why would people walk away from here? This place rips.
Right? Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah.
One
So
adventure later. Oh no.
yeah, no, this is not
Oh
good at all.
no.
So Temple mentions even the Aztecs had an empire encompassing many other cultures, but unfortunately, the whole human sacrifice thing, thanks to their flower, was kind of made the. Yeah, I'd imagine that there. So this is an interesting sort of what are the conflicts, the pre-existing conflicts,
Yeah.
and I'm going to put that in here under here. So what are the cultural? Oh, what are the pre-existing conflicts that drive happenings? What are the verges?
Yeah.
Happenings.
Is there a protest? Are there people complaining in the streets?
Yeah.
Or are they hushed, running from place to place because they don't dare to be seen? Like different vibe.
Yeah. So what I put here is, what are the pre-existing conflicts that drive the social engine of the city? Is it a matter of like, boy, we sure love these Aztecs, but their ritual sacrifices are really kind of a bummer. Or we love the Aztecs, but these creepy interlopers have given us all the pox or whatever.
Mhm.
Like there's elements that those conflicts kind of bring to the tapestry, or the all the threads that make up the city. So I like that a lot. An unrelated update. Yes, yeah, we're going to get into that, but thank you, Devious. We are nearing, for those of you, that's a good time for us to take a break. Oh my God, we got to be done. I was supposed to be done 10 minutes early, and look, we're just getting warmed up. Sorry, Ren, you got to stick it out with us for another hour.
That's okay. I can hang up for 1 minute.
1 minute, and here's what I'm going to
Woo!
do. I'm going to say, okay, so this is a very good place to stop. I'm going to make this document a public document to look upon, and
Mhm.
then we're going to get into the structuring and all of this stuff offline in Discord. We'll do it in Discord, in the channel created for that. And Ren, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I know you've got a thing that you got to do, and it's coming up swiftly. This is great. I mean, I really do appreciate you lending sort of your expertise and your understanding of world building, so that I can benefit and again steal your ideas and take credit for the brilliance.
So well put, Troy.
It's our credit.
That is true. That is true. I mean, there is video proof that we are doing this together, so I suppose I better.
Exactly.
No, you
right.
kind of took the video out of it for us, so it could be just like an AI voice.
Oh, that's true. This is all AI. All right, friend. I know you got to jump. So enjoy your game, and then we'll talk in Discord about kind of future stuff in the
Yes.
planning section for this.
For sure.
Thanks for being here, Ren. See you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'll talk to you folks soon.
Always love
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank
And
you.
thus we were two.
What a good pal. Do appreciate
Love
them
him.
quite a bit, and you as well, my friend. But I want to talk about this. We have been just working our superhero tights to the bone. No, that's not good. Let's strike that. Strike that from the record.
Riding it's like it's getting worse with every word.
It's really literally. I kind of was taking it, and I was like, no, we're gonna stop now, which is remarkable because that is not something that restraint is certainly not my strong suit. But having fun with the Kickstarter and being really excited. I'm going to thank everybody in the community that supported us, because I will imagine that, because I know some of the people in chat, that you are surprised that you are supporting us on the Mutants and Mastermind side of the house, as well as here on Thursday, which is all about the adventure game engine. But we kicked off our Kickstarter. We are almost to, our goal was 50,000, and we're almost to 100,000. That means that very soon, if not, very, very soon, a matter of
Minutes.
minutes,
Hours.
I'm imagining, or it just basically what I was going to say is a matter of hundreds of folks. Our stretch goals are going to be stretched, and so I know, just because I have one eye on the look at this. So look at that. Okay, so we've added this, we've updated this, we've got the Earth Prime. What do you say? Do you say gazetteer? Gazetter?
I would say gazetteer. I would say gazetteer.
We have several different people within even Green Ronin that will pronounce, imagine that, at Green Ronin of all places, pronouncing that word differently. So, but I would say gazetteer as well, or gazetter. So this is the Earth Prime. It's Steve Kenson's gonna put it together, and then we've got the character record folio, which I believe that Alex is designing, which is exciting. And then alternate archetypes 1. This goal unlocks a free PDF of agent level archetypes, which gives you the power level 8 versions of the archetypes featured in the 4th edition Heroes Handbook. I love it. And
nice.
140, that feels eminently real. Like, it feels like something we could do for sure.
It feels possible. Feels for sure possible. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I'm going to drop a link to the Kickstarter. And again, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but thanks, folks. And we're almost there. And I believe that we will. It feels to me we have 28 days, I believe. Let me double check to make sure I'm not lying. 27 days to go on this campaign, and we're so the ebb and flow of these, if you are familiar with Kickstarter or crowdfunders in general, is that there's a big spike at the beginning, and then a deep valley occurs, and then
the valley
on
of
the 20th day is it's the valley of it's truly
pain.
dry. It's pain. It's really difficult to move that needle, and it appears that it is a mixture of excitement. This is what I've always wanted, and then people get it, and then they kind of go, "Oh, I guess we'll wait." Oh, yeah, I remember that. And then on that 27th day, they all act like, "What? Oh, why did I hear about this? Why am I just hearing about it now? I almost missed it." And then they all dive in, and there's another spike.
Yeah,
and so
exactly.
It is a conversation that is had amongst all of the TTRPG folks that utilize the great resource that is crowdfunding, which allows us to cover our expenses and do things like pay rent and eat. Vital, I would say, to the creation of these things.
Also have like some sort of security of investment, like knowing that there is a fan base out there that will take these things out of your grabby paws immediately, and knowing that whatever you're doing was worth it. That's very helpful.
Yeah. And so, but that valley is there are often there's a lot of strategizing that goes on behind the scenes, and to some effect, I think that there is I try stuff. We've got industry peeps that have been working on ways to kind of keep that. There are a lot of people in this world, and you just got to find who the middle appeals to, and or create a spike in the middle that is based on I don't know what, but it's an interesting conundrum. It's a problem that everybody sort of speaks to. I would say, is it a problem? Well, yeah, because we want more people, and that feels problematic when we don't get them. But what is the mechanism, the organic sort of thing that's happening there? It's clearly a pattern. It happens a lot, and I'm betting if we sat down and kind of really thought about it from a sociological perspective, a motivational perspective, there's something happening in people's brains that kind of kindle the, oh, look, it's exciting. And then, oh, look, I'm going to miss it. And then the middle is just sort of like, I don't know. I'm bored.
Yeah. Also, you have a lot of people who generally like the thing, but are on the fence of wanting to get in. And as time progresses, the missing of the fear of missing out, the FOMO, kind of increases. And towards the end, a lot of people go like, "Ah, fuck, I need to have it," and then jump into it, and because they've been looking at this for the entire month. And at the end, they're like, "I need it," and then they commit.
And just for the record, you have expended our fuck budget, so we are in arrears.
The entirety of the.
We don't have a lot of money or a lot of we just don't have a lot of fucks to give. Actually, is the problem.
The land of the fucks is barren. You say
it is barren, salted earth. One might even say.
Oh no, that's horrible.
Yeah, but hey, we persist, we survive. So there was a conversation going on, or there is rather an active conversation going on about the Expanse, and we are we're doing the actual play live stream that's happening tomorrow, and I'm very excited about it because I get to hang out with all the cool kids from the Expanse community. Sorry, I'm stopping. I'm just trying to talk and get this screen share, but it is difficult because I'm simple and I'm very easily confused. For instance, I've lost this stream somewhere in my mini tabs. You're all hovering just out of my reach, and I don't know where that is. Where are you,
Let me check. I don't know, but I think it's in the Discord too.
It is. Let's see. Is this you? As I'm trying to find us in the many tabs that I have, the actual play event is tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and whatever funky time zone that Auden is in. Love Lenator, of course. The Ghost Ship of Theseus, which is the adventure game.
Is it Theseus?
Is it Theseus? It's Theseus. So
yeah, that's. I think it's Theseus, but that's at least how.
Listen, I work for Green Ronin, so
I'm so sorry. You pronounce it however you desire, darling.
One Page Adventure is the winner of the adventure, the game jam that we collaborate with or we support that they do over at the Expanse community. And this year it was Josh Romig, or Romig, as you would say if you were a Green Ronin. So what Auden in chat, tell us what time that is for you, and what time zone are you in? I don't know anything about that. And
my time zone is so far away. It's
right.
Oh god, it's UTC +1, I think. But yeah.
Hi, Hoilepa. Hopefully that wasn't the Fuchs Bouget. He's not just a Seuss, he's the Seuss. Either way, it's all Greek to me. Indeed. Let me get rid of Devious's thing here, and I want to share this just so everyone can see it with their eyeballs. It's a window.
All of our eyeballs.
All of them. Every last eyeball. Here we go.
Yeah, we have so many.
Yes. That's tomorrow, Friday, February 6th, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and 2 past the quarter stone of wherever Auden lives, whatever they call that. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be GM'd by our very own Ian Lemke. I'm going to be playing. Templar is going to be playing. Templar is our customer service executive, runs all of that. He's our logistics genius. And did I say me? It'll be me. It'll be Josh Romig, of course, and Love Lenator and me. And it'll be fun. It'll be a blast.
Yes.
Let me see.
I'm
Chat.
very envious.
What are we talking about here? Okay, so I do want to say this. I'm very excited to hear that our friend Shadow Cat is running. It's your first game. You're GMing your first game. That is so exciting. I'm very excited and also just a little envious. Very, very excited to hear about that because I have not for real. I haven't been a GM yet. I've run some D&D when I was a form of D&D. It was not. There was nothing even close to game mechanic learning or whatever. I was wildly out of off book, but that's exciting.
Awesome.
Let's see.
Running is so much fun. Like it seems so daunting when you're not used to it at first. It seems terrible, but once you're in it, it is so rewarding. I love GMing. It's great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to learning more, but I'm also looking forward to hearing what Shadowcat's experience is running the game. And just for Hoy, for your edification, we are collaborating on a adventure game engine, which is that is what runs games created for the Age system by Green Ronin Publishing, which is this is the official live stream of that company. And what we're making is a setting that originally started out as just a sort of an idea. I wanted to create a battle map. That's all I wanted. I just wanted there to create some kind of factional sort of fun battle map. It has now grown and changed and evolved into a giant dragon that is massive in scope and scale, that has a city on its back, which is icy and dangerous, and then a city in its actual mouth. And it's
moist and warm.
It's sort of moist and slightly naughty. And that's what we're creating, but we're doing it in collaboration with folks in chat, and we've gotten in deep. We're in real deep on the storyline. And so folks are aware, we are definitely doing office hours tonight. So stop by atomicthinktank.com. The Atomic Think Tank, we're on the precipice of doing some really great things. The Atomic Think Tank is our community hub where you can come in and hang out and get, maybe you want some information about the Expanse, or you are a big fan of Blue Rose, or you are a super Fantasy Age fan, or you like, any of the worlds or supplements or support resources. Maybe you're a home brewer. There's a lot of micro communities that kind of make up a TTRPG community as a whole, but we support it all in the think tank. And if you're a big fan of Mutants and Masterminds, the library is, dare I say, expansive. But there is tons of stuff going on, and we want now, as the Mutants and Masterminds community kind of continues to sort of flesh out sort of what that space is and how it is useful to the people that love Mutants and Masterminds, we want to do the same for the adventure game engine side of the house. And so there are growing elements of resources. There are people who have published stuff, both for the Mutants and Masterminds through the Superpowered by M&M license, but then also the Age Creators Alliance, which is the group of folks that create based on the mechanisms that run the adventure game engine, or the adventure game engine that runs our games. And you can, there are some, opportunities for you to publish, and to that, not just publish, to publish and sell. Here's a little bit of information that I'm going to give you. I'm not going to get too much into it, but I'm going to tell you this. There is going to be an update to our licensing processes that is going to make you very happy in a wonderful way. And it's I'm very excited about it. It's something that I've hoped we could do for some time. I won't get into the deets because I don't necessarily have them, and I want to when we get into it. But big things, good things are coming, and that influence everything that we do. as far as when it comes to developing third-party products, and so we are looking forward to sharing more details, and we'll have a whole third stage on it. But I would also pay attention to what's going on with Mutants Masterminds, because that can inform you just a bit as to what things might look like. And so, with that, I think we're done. There was so much information and so much good stuff, and my brain is fried. Just the perfect amount to go hang out with some ne'er-do-wells at tonight here in just actually 45 minutes. Get Tanked with Troy is an opportunity for you to come and hang out and sit in the space. We do it on a Zoom call, and you're invited. It's literally, let's hang out, let's talk. You don't even have to. You can pop in, and we'll say, hey, hi, how you doing? And you can lurk in the background and just listen to all the nincompoopery. You can come with an agenda, and if you do have something you want to be sure to ask, that you don't mind speaking to in front of everyone, then make sure you let me know. And we'll get into it. Shadowcat, I don't know if you're going to be at office hours with me, but if you are, yes, let me start again from the top. If you are, explain to me. I don't know if I'm inadvertently agreed to utilizing the Roll20 games you set up for the Expanse, but if we did, or if that is something that we can utilize, let's talk about it tonight so that I can be prepared and have that space, because I don't know if Ian's going to be even running it on Roll20. But why not? And if you've done some work for us, I would certainly not want it to go to waste. And so I'd really, so if you can pop in and give me some details, I'd sure appreciate it. And I think that's it, Duke. Anything you'd like to share or say? How are you doing? What's going on with you? Anything you'd like to promote?
I have nothing to promote, actually. I'm just here for the fun of it. No, I'm doing good. I had just like a super annoying start of the year work-wise, so there's a lot of stuff, hence me sometimes not being available, but otherwise I'm good. And I'm running, I have now like weekly games going, which is very good. Like every weekend I'm running a game.
Nice.
Which is very good. So there's a Daggerheart game that I'm running, and there's a Fantasy Age that I'm running. So this is very exciting and a lot of fun. So
nice.
Yes, I appreciate my players.
I bet you do. I bet you do. Yeah. And here's something I'd love to a challenge or an invite I extend to everybody listening right now. Tell me your GM stories, especially if it's related to the adventure game engine and the experiences that you've had based on sort of the mechanisms. And I'd love to hear it. And I'd love to hear sort of how the game design or how the adventure game engine and the elements therein informed your gameplay or created a moment. And, was it particularly cinematic? Was it, how did the system really help amplify and augment the overarching storyline or the visceral feeling that the players had, or that created a great achievement or a stunning loss that led to something, like whatever it might be. I'm really curious to hear it, and let's get nerdy about it. I want to get crunchy. I want to hear kind of how the system served your storytelling needs and the needs of the players around the table. Hey friends, thank you so much for hanging out, and I love chat. You are so nice. Well, Hoy, I'm glad that you're hearing about it for the first time. Now, if you send a note to let's play at greenronin.com, that's green like the color green, GREENRONIN.com. Send a note and say, hey, this is Hoy. My name is Troy. So say, hey, Troy, this is Hoy. You said you wanted me to reach out to you, and I'll send you a little gift, a little digital treat for you to enjoy. And I will do that post haste. So yeah, send that over to me. Again, that's let's play at greenronin.com. And and then you'll learn a little bit more about the adventure game engine. But I do, it is nice to be nice to the nice. It is nice. It really is. But again, I want to thank everybody in chat. I've got the running list of sort of what are the elements of a good city and the pieces therein. And it's been a very interesting process. I do feel like we've kind of, it's at this point, I have more questions than I have actual answers, but I'm starting to get a sense of the ebb and the flow. And I'm telling you, the next person that we need to kind of bring in here is one
It's
Malcolm
Malcolm.
Shepard to kind of say,
Yes.
wait a minute, you noobs, you forgot this piece, or you don't need to do all that. And, and so we'll kind of bring him in for a boot camp here shortly. Don't forget that tomorrow we are doing the live stream right now, 4 p.m. right in this very same space. We just kind of changed the decorations and hosed some people off the skin suits and filled them. And I will actually be embodied. You will see my beautiful face. So,
well, that's lovely. So one more reason to join.
Your mileage may vary, but it is my face. It's the only one.
It is a great face.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sir. So with that, where's my music? Let's see.
I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you for hanging out and listening to Thursdage. Thank you for your.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you for your horn section played by Duke and Reyn. I just blows my eardrums out. We appreciate you so much. We'll be back next week. Don't forget, here just in about 35 or so minutes, head over to the Atomic Think Hangover. Head on over to atomichthinktank.com and look for the event. You'll see the event and it'll be live and it'll say we're live event. Click that, join the Zoom, and let's have fun. Until then, we'll see you later. Bye.
See you there. Bye-bye.